But my first guest today is constantly in demand as an actor, right across stage and screen. His credits have included The Rocky Horror Show, Pippin, Wicked, The Jersey Boys, Guys and Dolls, the songs of Cy Coleman. I've got a special place in my heart for Cy Coleman, and I'll tell my guest why in a moment. And on screen, he's played in The Pacific, Whatever Happened to That Guy, Neighbours, and the feature film as well called, what was it called? Something Yankees. I'm sure he's going to... Mormon Yankees. That's it, Mormon Yankees. He's an accomplished pianist as well. He played so well last night, and just amazing how he worked with that orchestra. And last night, he was the lead in the musical. It's called Tick, Tack, Boom. It's got a wonderful story behind it and a wonderful meaning as to why it all came to be. Luigi Lucente is on the line right now, and let's say a very good afternoon to him. Luigi, nice to have you with us.
Good afternoon. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks, pal. What a fantastic show last night. Look, I see so many shows at Chapel Off Chapel. I'm always raving about these. I had Angela on the program last week, your co-star in this.
Yeah.
But and she was absolutely fabulous last night too. But you yourself, you're a guy who was on that stage for 90 minutes non-stop.
That's right.
Yep. The sweat...
It's a bit of a marathon.
Yeah, it is. How do you do something like that?
Oh, look, I think it's come from... rehearsing. We've rehearsed for a bit under a month now, so it's just about getting the focus and adrenaline and keeping that maintained for that time. I mean, we've run the show, a few times now, so each time I guess we do it gets a little bit easier. But under lights and with an audience, it makes it that little bit more electrifying, and I think that's what kind of gets you through in the end.
I saw
it really is a marathon.
Yeah, I saw the show last night as being very personable. You came across to the audience so well. You were talking to us in a beautiful form, and you sort of took the whole audience with you on a journey, and it was a fascinating way that you could do that.
Well, yeah, I guess what this show is, it's quite a personal work. It was, it was a show that Jonathan Larson, the writer, he did create it for himself, and it all of the aspects of the show are coming from his life and coming from situations that he's going through as a struggling writer, or his ordeals as his relationship, or his interactions with the people in his life. So, our aim with this production was to really draw the audience into his world, into his lounge room, into his den, so to speak, so that they could really go with him as he went about this week before his 30th birthday.
Now, we should mention there that Jonathan Larson was the man behind Rent fame. Now, Rent was here at the Regent Theatre many years ago now, but another great show. But I think he passed on just before that hit Broadway, didn't he?
Absolutely, yeah. He basically died on the eve of Rent previewing, so he never really got to be a part or share in the success that he attained, which was, global, phenomenal success.
Luigi, when you're acting a part such as this, how much has it hit your heart that you're playing this guy who had done so much in a very short space of time at the age of 35? Does it affect you personally? Yeah,
I think one can't help but feel somewhat affected at the bittersweet, tragedy of this man's life. He only left us with these two shows, and yet still his work resonates and has touched so many people around the world. So, it's a privilege to be performing this work and this deeply personal memoir to Jonathan himself.
I think there was a very poignant part in the show right at the end when the audio comes across of Stephen Sondheim's voice, and of course he was hoping when he was doing a workshop. I'm talking about Jonathan Larson here.
Yep,
that Sondheim would be in the audience, and he wasn't aware, I don't think, that he was in the audience. But coming to that very, very, very emotional moment at the end, people sitting in front of me, there was a chap in front of me, and he turned to his partner at the end of the show and he said, "It's the first time I've had tears in my eyes at a show such as this."
Oh, wow.
Wasn't that powerful?
That is really powerful.
Yeah.
It means we're doing our job in honouring the work, yeah.
And I think as an actor, when you've got people to become so involved like that, it's just magical, isn't it? You've done your job.
So too.
You've done your job, mate. You really have. You bring people to tears like that. There was a lot of comedy in it last night. You got a lot of laughter. And from an audience on an opening night, that must make you feel very, very pleased.
It certainly does. It's one of those shows, too, that so much of it relies on me interacting with an audience. And, the nature of this model of Chapel Off Chapel, we actually didn't get a preview. So last night was our opening night, our first preview, our first audience. So in many ways, I was quite relieved to have an audience laughing at the comic timing that I'd hoped I'd been nailing in the rehearsal room.
Well, it worked very, very, very well. How did you get started in the acting business?
Look, I think it was something that I just grew into as a teenager. I was performing in school musicals and dance concerts, and then upon leaving school, just found myself, taking small jobs within the industry, and eventually it moved on to bigger and better things. So it's kind of what I've been doing since I finished school, luckily enough.
Well, I said there in the intro that you've done the small screen, a movie on the big screen as well as stage and so on, and the Mormon Yankees there, the feature film, but Neighbours, part in that as well. So it's a wonderful thing to have achieved so much in so little time.
Yeah, I am grateful for so many of the opportunities that I've been given, and I always feel like that, one thing often leads to another, and so I'm the kind of actor that just likes to go with the flow, and if this year's providing stage opportunities, then, you've just got to kind of take what's on offer sometimes and just hope that something will springboard from that, and often that is the way it happens in the arts. So I've been really lucky to have a lot of these opportunities. So,
Luigi, in between acting jobs, what do you do? I mean, to say, do you lecture? Do you do other things? Do you do writing?
I do a lot of teaching. I do a lot of piano playing, a lot of singing, various gigs. I'll headline, guest entertaining on a cruise ship for a week and do a show on board and all that kind of things. I try and yield most of my living from my artistic ventures, which is a really good thing. But sometimes that can be a massive challenge too, as you can see, in the show last night. It's never smooth sailing for anyone in the creative industry, and that's what I love about Tick Tick Boom, is that it resonates with artists and creative types from all genres and backgrounds.
And the Loft Theatre is quite a good space here. It's very, very intimate, and you can connect so well, as I said at the start of the interview, connect so well with your audience, and you did all of those things.
Yeah, I really loved working in that space, and I really love the way that the set, envelops the entire space, and you feel like you're almost a fly on the wall in his apartment. The design and the lighting really do aid in that, and making that space feel super, super intimate.
Yes, it really is. And the way you performed on the piano there, I'm going to say you must be a pianist of some note because you're fantastic. And the way we cued with the band and so on, and you kept that piano going with the band, and then you had the electric piano in the background as well. Very, very clever, as well as you had to sing and think of your lines and everything else. I don't know how you did it.
Yeah, it's like juggling multiple things simultaneously, but we've been lucky enough to have a really great team of people around me that's able to keep all these components running together, because it's no easy feat to have a band which are located in the room next door, because there's no room for them on stage.
Yes.
So they're all running through headphones, and I'm just hoping to hear enough of the beat on stage to keep in time. And we had a lot of troubleshooting early in the week that we were able to iron out for a very smooth opening, which was fantastic.
Well, we would not have known last night. It just went so smoothly. It was just great. Mate, I do thank you for your time today. You must be tired after last night. You've got more productions coming up over the next 10 days, I think it's running for.
Absolutely, yeah.
And people can book at Chapel Off Chapel. It's Tick, Tick, Boom. And I love the use of the metronome. It works so well for you.
Yeah, it's a really great little metaphor, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's just fantastic. Luigi, thanks again, pal. You take care. A lovely show. Pass on my regards to all of the actors there with you, and I thank you for your time.
Absolutely.
Thanks
so much for having me.
Take care. Okay, bye-bye to you.